So I just saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and it was pretty great, Spider-Gate. Now, I enjoyed the first Spider-Verse film, although I didn't exactly connect with it to the degree that a lot of other people seemed to. It had plenty of style and personality, but that style was essentially just propping up a really bland story. So it really just depends on how you value and weigh different aspects of filmmaking. If the style alone can keep you fully invested for 2 hours, then this might just be a perfect movie for you. But personally, there was really something missing from the experience for me. Most of the music choices were great, but some of them clashed with the intended emotions of the scene. There were also quite a few attempts at humor in the original that really did not work for me. Overall, I found myself appreciating it more than actually loving it, and I gave it a 6 out of 10, and everybody got really mad for some reason. Apparently, some people would rather I be dishonest or inauthentic when talking about my experiences with film, and those people are stupid. As for this newest film, many of you will be happy to hear that I thought it was quite a significant improvement over the original. When it comes to the visual style of this film, they go way harder than they did in the first one. The colors, the environments, the character designs. So much of this film was insanely creative and visually appealing. Parts of this film had a really interesting blend of 3D and 2D animation, or at least that's what it looked like. I feel like if the style of the first film was cranked up as high as it was in the opening scene of this film, then perhaps I'd have an experience with that movie similar to what most other people seem to have. The music choices in this film were great. There were some points where the music was more interesting than effective, but it never really clashed with the film. The pacing of this film was also pretty fantastic. Once the main chunk of action starts in this film, it does not stop until the very end. This film has an intense energy that stays consistent for what feels like 2/3 of the movie. The action sequences in this film were also way more fun, creative, and memorable than the first. The main villain for this film works incredibly well, and he provides a lot of opportunity for really creative fight sequences. The villain also brings a great blend of humor and excitement while also maintaining the feeling of real stakes and consequence. Surprisingly, the sound mixing in this film was not great. There's quite a few lines near the beginning of the film where the dialogue is drowned out by the music, making it impossible to tell what the characters are saying, which seems like a pretty important thing to not have functioning properly. Thankfully, the majority of the dialogue in this film was audible, but there were seriously lines delivered at pivotal moments in the film that nobody could understand because of the mixing issues. Personally, I'd be comfortable if every single film had subtitles underneath, but that's just me, I guess. The plot of this film was kind of dumb. The way that the conflict was justified and the reasons why characters were perpetuating that conflict weren't great. There's a lot of assumptions that people take as fact that wind up causing the entire story to happen, but thankfully at least the heart of the film is pretty well written with some good lines and some great character moments as well. Also, with this being a Spider-Verse film with lots of different Spider-Men, women, non-binaries, and horse, it was pretty entertaining and satisfying seeing all of the different characters being referenced, and unlike the first film, they didn't overuse any of these characters to the point where the novelty wore off. The references in this film were short and sweet, and although some of what they referenced and canonized felt a bit weird and stupid at points, they didn't overindulge themselves too much, and it felt mostly self-aware. There's also one thing you should know about this film before watching. Some people might consider it a little bit spoilery, but I don't. I honestly feel like this information should have been given in the marketing, but this film ends on a massive cliffhanger. So much so that I honestly feel as though the words Part 1 should have been in the title. I knew the film's runtime before heading into it, and after a certain point I was thinking, wow, how are they gonna wrap this up? It doesn't really seem like they have a lot of time left. And yep, it just says the story will continue in the next movie, at which point everyone in the theater started screaming.
No, you're joking!
Oh my god.
Why?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! No!
It was very funny. What's also funny is that one of those people was Kai Cenat, who just so happened to be at the same screening as I was. That was funny. And if you're curious, he seemed to enjoy the movie quite a bit. Anyway, overall, I had a really great experience with this film. Sure, there are some aspects that could be better, but I thought it was a pretty big improvement over the original. I will definitely be seeing this one again, and it will probably be mentioned on my 2023 list. So check this one out, and I'm giving it a high 7 out of 10. It's closer to an 8 than a 6. Thank you. We have yet to establish the other characters. I'm not gonna do it.
You are a bad runner.
Woo!